Good morning, everybody. Yes, we're having breakfast with you this morning because in our want to figure out what kind of stories we're going to do and what kind of geekery, we sort of ran behind on the breakfast making. And when we first get up, we're not hungry. It takes us a few hours. I'm eating cheese grits. Ronan is eating grits with sugar grits. So those of you down south know what both of those are. For those of you that don't know what grits is, it's kind of a right?
Sort of.
You take corn kernels, brine them up, then you add water and salt to them and a little bit of butter and anything else you want to put, and that's, breakfast. So let's see who I am saying good morning to this morning. We have a good morning to Mad Panda, Hellbound Iscariot, who went to bed. A Neil, a JP Antoni, who's being an ass in my live chat this morning, so no good morning for you. Good morning, Sir Wolfie.
Celestial Parsnip.
Yeah. And I'm scrolling down.
I see you, Panda.
Morning, Pagan Minotaur and Doubting Tommy.
Yeah.
And now you hear me on his computer because he forgot to mute the stream. Mitch the Ripper. We have a Snips, Morning Snips, and a Doubting Tommy. So good morning, everybody. See you later, Hooflum Poo. Thanks for the $2. No, not dry oatmeal. Grits. Y'all people don't know what grits is.
You said y'all.
I said y'all. It happens from time to time. So, let's see. There are a few things that I have in the works that I am looking for information on. I'm digging into more net neutrality, specifically the rumors that AT&T and Comcast are being paid to be against net neutrality. I've got to do some digging to find that one. Haven't decided yet if it's going to be on a live stream or a blog post.
Yeah, that's going to be a hard one to figure out.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard one to figure out.
Might end up doing both.
Yeah. The other one, DACA is still going to be a blog post, and that's going to start with what DACA is and lead up to the negotiations that Trump did with DACA. Because there are tweets of him calling to legalize it and then him still negotiating, so not only knows what the story is behind that, or he knows everybody that was expecting him to repeal it is pissed off at him, so we're going to have to delve into that just a little bit deeper. It's just not something I've had. Oh, Neil, you don't know what you're missing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I like mine cheesy, and sometimes I like mine cheesy with some eggs mixed in there and sausage.
Well, now Neil would probably understand, tomatoes and eggs and some other things along with that.
Yep. All right, let's see what our first story is today. Zeus is hiding under my table for some odd reason. I'm trying to get him to go sit on the bed, but he's being a little stubborn.
Come on. Come on.
Now you hear the thumping. That's his tail.
No chuffing.
No chuffing.
He's sucking up.
I know he's sucking up because yesterday he decided he was going to bolt all around the yard.
Yeah. He decided he was going to go outside and play chase the cat for 2 hours.
Yep. Shut up. How much if I can get him on the bed? Come here, boo-boo. Come on. Your Publix wants to see you. There you are. There's his morning appearance. There we go. Morning Wikipedia snippet. Thraxy, my guard dragon of the internets. How are you doing, my adopted son? So, first story. We're going to cover the Equifax thing that's been going on. Out of the New York AP, Equifax under pressure from a massive data breach says it has a separate incident earlier this year. So this is the second incident it's had?
Yeah.
This may mean even more scrutiny with the aftermath of a security failure that exposed the information of 143 million Americans. Equifax said it had a security breach earlier this year that involved a different part of the company than the one accessed in the larger hack. The breach involved TALX, which is Equifax Human Resources and Payroll Service.
Oh.
The company said there's no evidence that the TALX breach, which happened between March and April this year, and the wider breach are related. So they had the payroll services hit as well. Good morning, Jason. Let me see here. Die Hard with a Vengeance, Samuel Jackson. Jesus, yeah. Neil, Equifax, our entire company is incompetent. Yeah, they sure sound like it. Let's see. The TALX breach, which at the time was relatively minor, is likely to attract additional scrutiny. Who would have thunk, right? The 3 executives at Equifax were found to have sold stock in the days leading up to the time when Equifax disclosed the more serious breach. Equifax says the 3 executives, which includes the company's second highest ranking employee, its chief financial officer, were unaware of the bigger breach when they sold their shares. They're going to have to prove that, because I know they're going to be taken to court for insider trading, because this reeks of this, in my opinion. If they knew about it and traded their stocks before they announced it, that's insider trading, in my opinion. And that, you know, that's what, what's her butt? Martha Stewart got in trouble for.
Yeah, it's a felony.
It's a felony. Massachusetts Attorney General Maura Healey sued Equifax on Tuesday, making it the first state to take direct legal action against the company following the breach. Its lawyers say that Equifax's negligence exposed more than half the state's adult population to the breach, and the company was negligent in dealing with security threats, including the software vulnerability that has become the center of the investigation. Attorney General Healey is seeking unspecified civil penalties, restitution, and damages for the impacted residents. New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman wrote, he has said this has raised serious concerns about the security of private consumer information held by the nation's largest consumer credit reporting agencies. And he says agencies because he's also including the other 2, which is TransUnion and what's the other one? I think it's further down. TRW, I think. Mm-hmm. Tuesday that approximately 100,000 Canadian consumers may have had personal information breached, including names, addresses, social insurance numbers, and in some cases, credit card numbers. Canada's privacy watchdog said it is looking into the breach, and Equifax has committed to notifying these affected in writing as soon as possible. Equifax CEO has been called to testify before Congress on October 3rd, and the company announced last week that its chief information officer and chief security officer would be leaving the company immediately. It also has bulked up its call centers and is waiving fees for credit freezes. The data company also released a detailed, if still muddled, timeline of how it discovered and handled the breach. Equifax's stock has fallen more than 1/3 since the scandal broke. So, let's see here. Neil, never thought I'd be glad the U.S. government already leaked my info to China, so I already have some identity protection. That's a good one, Neil. Good morning, Eric Orr. Thank you, Mad Panda. I don't need that in my news chat in the morning. Too early in the morning to deal with somebody being belligerent. Not going to have it. Dragon League balloon, not weep. Okay.
JP is about to learn a very, very valuable lesson in everything. I don't care if you have a problem with other people. You don't bring your problems in here.
Mm-hmm. Good morning, Fen. I always get to a stop just as this starts. All right. What should I do section of the Equifax story? Consumers should be vigilant and diligent. That means closely mentoring the credit reports, which are available free once a year, and stagger them to see one every 4 months. Keeping watch possibly for a long time. Scammers who get a hold of the data could use it at any time. And with 143 million to choose from, they may considering freezing your credit reports. This stops thieves from opening new credit cards or loans in your name, but it also prevents you from opening new accounts. So if you want to apply for something, you need to lift the freeze a few days beforehand. Also, too, I've been seeing this all over the place. And good morning, Panina. Here is some common sense advice that they're not telling you in case your identity gets stolen. Make hard copies of your driver's license, your social security, your birth certificate. Make hard copies of your bank statements, any of your bill statements, anything that you pay out. Put them in a bolted lockbox somewhere in your home, or a heavy, hard-to-reach, fireproof lockbox in your closets if you live in an apartment. So in the case you have your identity stolen, God forbid, you have these hard copies that you can present to people to prove your identity. And so you can have it handy in case they ask for any records. Because it is very hard to prove that your identity has been stolen once somebody has snagged it and is doing whatever they want to do with it. But yes, keep a firm eye on your credit report and make sure nobody takes out credit cards in your name, buys cars, tries to rent apartments, and so forth. Because it can make a grade A credit score go right into the shitter in no time flat. All right, here we go. Good morning, Tawny Pruitt. Morning, Brew. And here we are. That is Maria. Much ado about Maria. Unfortunately, Maria visited Puerto Rico, and the Puerto Ricans didn't have a good time with her hospitality. Let's see what we've got here. Hurricane Maria is headed towards the Virgin Islands in Puerto Rico on September 19th, with the U.S. National Hurricane Center warning of a potentially catastrophic impact as it battered the Eastern Caribbean, or Caribbean, whichever way you want to pronounce that. And this, as of a few hours ago, is out of Puerto Rico AP. One of the strongest hurricanes to ever hit Puerto Rico pummeled the island Wednesday as officials warned it would decimate the power company's crumbling infrastructure and force the government to rebuild dozens of communities. So that happened. Maria made landfall early Wednesday in the southeast coastal town of Yabucoa as a Category 4 storm with winds of 155 miles an hour, and it was expected to punish the island with life-threatening winds for 12 to 24 hours, forecasters said. Maria had previously been a Cat 5 storm with 175 miles per hour wind. This is going to be an extremely violent phenomenon, Government Ricardo Rosello said. We have not experienced an event of this magnitude in our modern history. Zinc roofs, and yes, I pronounced that right, they have zinc roofs in Puerto Rico, were already flying and windows were breaking as the storm approached before dawn, with nearly 900,000 people without power and one tree falling on an ambulance. Those who sought shelters at a coliseum in San Juan were moved to the building's second and third floors, reported radio station WKAQ 580 AM. The storm was moving across Puerto Rico on Wednesday morning at 10 miles an hour, with a gust of 113 miles an hour, reported in the capital of San Juan, according to the U.S. National Hurricane Center in Miami. Maria ties for the eighth strongest storm in Atlantic history when measured by wind speed. Coming in second is this year's Irma, which had 185 mile an hour winds and killed 38 people in the Caribbean, and another 6 in the U.S. earlier this month. Puerto Rico has had long been spared from a direct hit by hurricanes that tend to veer north or south of the island. The last Category 4 hurricane landfall in Puerto Rico occurred in 1932. So over 80 years ago was their last hurricane hit. Proof climate change is real.
That's all right. Sir Wolfie said, never trust a Spanish woman.
Screw you, Wolfie. Screw you. And I do have family in Puerto Rico, and I hope they're okay, but I don't have any way of getting hold of them. On Facebook to my Cuban family and see if anybody has kept up with them. Because I've got to see if some of them are okay.
Now, yeah, this is, of course, Maria's pretty bad and everything, but there's a philosophy here.
Yeah.
See, true. Jose was following Irma and everything. Now, Jose's old lady Maria, she found out she's just having a tantrum. Now he's taking off running away from Irma because, you know, Maria catches up with Irma. They might get together and talk about shit and everything. Then they're going to be looking for his ass later on.
Yeah, well, you know, Jose's still meandering up there on the northeast coast. Not doing much of anything. I think he's deliberately trying to keep a low profile. Thank you, Tony. Let me see. The next one. Now we go to Mexico. Mexicans dig through collapsed buildings as quake kills 217.
Yep.
This is Associated Press. At the time I took this off the Associated Press, it was an hour ago, so we're looking at probably 3 hours old by now.
Yeah.
But still fresh. All right. Police, firefighters, and ordinary Mexicans dug frantically through the rubble of collapsed schools, homes, and apartment buildings early Wednesday, looking for survivors of Mexico's deadliest quake in decades, as the number confirmed fatalities stood at 217. Adding poignancy and a touch of the surreal, Tuesday's magnitude 7.1 quake struck on the 32nd anniversary of the 1985 quake that killed thousands. Just hours earlier, people around Mexico had held earthquake drills to mark the date. One of the most desperate rescue efforts was at a primary and secondary school in southern Mexico City, where a wing of the 3-story building collapsed into a massive pancake of concrete slabs. Journalists saw rescuers pull at least 2 small bodies from the rubble, covered in sheets.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's pancake.
Yeah.
That's not good.
No, it's not. So,
pancaking is the last thing you want to see a building do, because the chances of surviving something like that are almost zero.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me see. The Federal Education Department reported late Tuesday that 25 bodies had been recovered from the school's wreckage, all but 4 of them children. It was not clear whether those deaths were included in the overall death toll of 217 reported by the Federal Civil Defense Agency. Pena Nieto had earlier reported 22 bodies found and said 30 children and 8 adults were reported missing. So they're struggling through that this morning.
It's just going. I'm afraid it's just going to be.
It's going to
get worse before it gets better down there. And
yeah,
our thoughts go out to everyone that is involved down there, not only for the victims' families, but also for the rescue workers, because that's just something you don't.
Oh,
get
yeah.
over.
Tani said that's so sad. I have fam from Mexico City and thinking they weren't vacation there. Yeah, it's a good thing they weren't there. They were fortunate not to be there. What we're going to be looking for is usually earthquakes that are 7 or above have aftershocks.
That's what we're waiting on now.
So we're going to be keeping an eye on any reports of aftershocks, any further damage, any further loss of life. Good morning, Olenska. So we're going to keep an eye on the Mexico situation as much as possible. Our hearts and our prayers go out to them, which is all we can do at this point. Empty platitude, but God, with everything going on, with all the hurricanes, and now the earthquake, it's just, you know, these people. It really does, because they're caught in this. Mm-hmm. Here we go. UN speech. The famous speech yesterday that I reported about, we're reporting again. Rees heard around the world, 2 different reactions from 2 different people. I am trying to find a transcript of the actual UN speech so I can go over it. And we will go from there. As soon as I find the transcript, I'll probably either do a live stream of the transcript or I'll do a pre-recorded video breaking down his speech at the UN. And in case you guys are wondering, no, this isn't weak coffee. We ran out of coffee this morning. This is green tea and peppermint.
Yes, and it's very, very good.
So, yeah, we're still caffeinating. We're just doing it in a slightly different way. President Donald Trump has vowed to totally destroy North Korea if the U.S. is forced to defend itself or its allies against the renegade nation's nuclear weapons program, making his case in a combative debut speech to the UN that laid out a stark good versus evil view of a globe riven by chaos and turmoil. Trump's broadsides Tuesday against rogue regimes, North Korea among them, drew murmurs from the assembled world leaders and served as a searing salute to his nationalism during the diplomatic prime time. He said it was far past time for the world to confront Kim Jong-un. Buffering.
Yeah. Nina says buffering.
Okay, well, you're not buffering on yours.
No, I'm not buffering on mine.
All right, so it might just be Panina. The brew has been altered. Pray I do not alter it further. Love it, Jason. Love it. Let's see here. I have streaming problems. Well, it's not buffering for... Okay, am I buffering for anybody else?
Mitch said it's one of the few times it's not buffering.
Okay, so it's probably Panina.
Okay.
All right. Let's see here. He said it was far past time for the world to confront Kim Jong-un, declaring that the North Korean leader's pursuit of nuclear weapons poses a threat to the entire world and an unthinkable loss of human life. Rocket Man is on a suicide mission for himself and his regime. Now, I'm going to stop it right here because I watched Philly D last night. I usually try and catch him as much as possible when I'm not busy. And he showed two pictures, well, three. He showed two of John Kelly, and he showed one of Netanyahu reacting to that particular phrase that Trump said. Netanyahu had an open mouth smile on his face, which I could only assume meant that he was laughing his ass off.
He was guffawing.
Yes, about the fact that Trump had just made fun of Kim Jong-un. Meanwhile, on the other side, face palming and wishing he hadn't just heard what he heard was John Kelly. Embarrassed because your dad did something stupid in public. But I like Netanyahu's reaction better because it's funny. You know, Trump did that on purpose. He doesn't, you know, he wants to knock Kim Jong-un down a few pegs. Yeah. So he gave him this nickname of Rocket Man. It's going to be interesting to see how it spreads among the people. Thank you, Tommy. I will check my PayPal after the show. Let me see. Trump said, mocking the North Korean leader as he sketched out potentially cataclysmic consequences. The president himself decided to work the nickname into his speech just hours before he took the dais, according to aides. So this is why I want to see the whole speech so I can break it down because I think it's going to be absolutely...
Now here's something that I have to say.
Yeah.
We've seen this morning.
Yeah.
All these people losing their minds and everything, you know, and half of them saying, I can't wait till we get rid of this asshole. Okay, well, here's what I had to say about that. And those of you follow me on Twitter saw my reaction to this. Some fucking maniac somewhere says, I have a hydrogen bomb and I will attack Guam. I will attack your troops in South Korea. Mm-hmm. I will even fire upon the U.S. And you fucking weak ass goddamn pussies just said, well, we can't talk about whooping his ass. Mm-hmm. Get your fucking ass out of my goddamn country.
Yeah.
Learn about it. Every time somebody's threatened us and everything, we put our foot in our ass. We've been doing it since 1776. Get the fuck over it.
Yeah, exactly. Now for our recommended views.
Oh, yes.
Back after a little over a month's hiatus to get over the stress and stringent scheduling of live streams once a week, and also researching for those live streams, Fenrir of the Right has released a video titled Sharia in Idaho. That is the first on our recommended view list this morning. Second one is if you like snark, if you like somebody picking on somebody, if you like being somebody generally comical that doesn't phone in their performance like a certain YouTuber that keeps asking for collaborations, go to Gemineye's channel and check out Lactatia, the 8-year-old drag queen. We watched a few minutes of it this morning. I'm going to go back and watch the rest of it because I was pretty much rolling at the way he edited. His editing skills are on point. Absolutely loving the video, but I couldn't sit there and watch everybody's video this morning because then it would have been late.
Yes, Fenrir, that's you.
Yeah, that's you. Third one on the list is Jason Brazeal, who's probably still in the live chat. Title of the video is Magic Item Spotlight Healing Belt. Yes, he went D&D. Yes, he went geek, and we love him for it because he's one of our lovable geeks. Also on his live streams, he tends to talk about comic books and all things geeky. So if you want to check him out, that's what, you know, that's part of his channel as well. And the last one being picked because there is a story behind this recommended view. Now, I'm not going to read the story, but Slate decided that they were going to tweet out, quote, "The honest trailer for Wonder Woman reminds us that Gal Gadot is in a Justice League of their own." Now, what they don't realize is, for those of you who don't know Screen Junkies, this is a joke channel that loves movies. Their honest trailers are a sarcastic look at movie trailers with one guy that has a phenomenal voiceover voice, to say the least. And I have Honest Trailer Wonder Woman linked in the description below for you guys to go see it, because both of us were in stitches listening to the trailer last night. Mm-hmm. But this is what Slate cited, saying that, you know, this is the best movie and, you know, go feminism and girl power, not realizing what the channel was about. Slate, do your homework, hon. You're far
somebody
behind.
going to be really surprised.
They are. Oh, they are. I'm going to see if our guest has popped into our Google Hangouts yet. Yep, there he is. Hey, Mitch.
Hey, everyone, and welcome back. That's just me fucking with anyone listening who doesn't know me.
I'm gonna move.
All right, they don't have to know you, Mitch. I know you. That's good enough for me.
And now it is time, geeks everywhere, to read. Yes, it is a discovery story.
Yeah, but this one's a good one.
This one's a good one.
This one set me off so bad that I had to invite my friend.
We're gonna start out.
Good friend, come in here and there.
Yep. All right. I'm gonna start by highlighting what you see on the screen in a small delay, and I'm gonna read the headline from the Independent. This was the original headline before they moved it. How Sonequa Martin Green became the first black lead of Star Trek. My casting says that the sky is the limit for all of us. Oh, roboting. Sooner or later, I start roboting. Discord open.
Pushing the envelope. Going where you've never gone before. Hey, this is Star Trek already.
Oh, that was no, that was cheap. I mean, it worked. Get your hand out of your shirt, Ronan. This is it's not that kind of show.
I'm rubbing the belly. It's full.
Just on this first headline, first of all, as you can imagine, everybody that saw this headline on Twitter.
Neil, that headline hurt. I felt physical pain.
Yeah, I felt physical pain.
Blankly, what about Cisco?
Exactly.
Yes, everybody jumped on them about this. And
Avery Brooks.
So they changed it to be the first black female lead.
Yes, and here it is. How Sonequa Martin Green became the first black female lead of Star Trek. All right, and I'm going to copy this link, and now I'm going to exit out of Discord so I don't robot. And I'm going to figure out how to, I'm going to have to open Opera. Open Opera. 3 names: Uhuru, Cisco, Janeway. Yeah, I know. No matter what they do, they're not going to win with the story.
I replied on this as well and everything. It's the same thing. They are content on diversity, color, gender, instead of storylines. What is canon?
Yeah. They're breaking rule number 1. Thou shalt not piss off. Thou shalt not break canon, for canon is holy, and to break canon is a sin.
It is a deadly sin.
The deadly sin that can sink your... Okay, here we go. How Sonequa Martin Green became the first black female lead. See how they changed that? Of Star Trek. My casting says this for all. We talked to the cast and visited the set ahead of Netflix's all-new reboot Star Trek Discovery, with each episode rolling out as a weekly episodic show. Scroll down. Come on.
I know. Well, this article certainly gave me an episode.
Yes, it did. You and I were both, you know.
Well, we're yelling like two old.
Dealing with.
We're yelling like two old men trying to send back soup at a deli.
Right?
Pretty much.
It's just something that shouldn't be happening, but they're going to do it anyway until people are so sick and tired of the agenda being pushed.
You know, where they got me during this whole thing.
We're going to start with the beginning, and we're going to pause and, oh, come on. Okay, my computer's, hold on, my computer's reloading this thing. Reason. Star Trek pioneered diversity long before diversity was a hot-button issue when the series first launched 51 years ago. Its original crew featured Black, Asian, and yes, women, not merely as eye candy among its cast. At least it gave it some credit. An all-new reboot, Star Trek Discovery, goes boldly where no Trek has gone before by placing 2 women in a starship, comparing it to Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. So that's it. Dragon's actress Michael Yeoh and Walking Dead Sonequa Martin Green, Michelle. What'd I say?
Michael.
Oh. I take another sip. I'll let you guys take it from here.
Michelle Yeoh. Now, Michelle Yeoh is a lovely, lovely, beautiful, and talented Asian woman and everything, but she is not a woman of color. Sorry. Don't even use that term. They shouldn't use that term and everything because actually that's bordering. According to the SJWs, using that term is not PC.
No, that's colored person. It's not PC.
Well, a person of color is a colored person.
I know that, but you know, it's their mental gymnastics. You got to get with the mental gymnastics. They try to do the
fucking mental gymnastics. It doesn't look.
They suck at it.
They do.
Look what they've done. And even when you get into the next couple of paragraphs, they prove me right.
Oh, yes.
They've basically relegated Michelle Yeoh to being Malaysian.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
You know, she doesn't like burritos or pizza or Thai food. She's Malaysian. That's all they care about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They don't see anything deeper in her than that.
They don't care that in her circles and everything where she has done the majority of her acting and everything, she is off the charts, just more popular than most American actresses.
Yes.
And at 55 years old and as in good a shape she is and everything, I'd smash that. I'm sorry.
There's a badassery to her that they completely ignore.
Yeah.
In favor of political correctness.
Yeah.
All you have to say is badass Michelle Yeoh, age 55. You know, that's all you have to say. You don't have to go and say, after all, the Malaysian martial arts dynamo has quietly been shattering glass ceilings for the past 4 decades. No, that's horseshit. You don't. It's like when Morgan Freeman did that thing about Black History Month, and he said to the interviewer, "You're going to relegate my history to a month." This is the same thing. She's more than just Malaysian.
Yeah.
You know, there's more to people than that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, this makes me angry.
Oh yeah, Trekkies have always been a passionate crowd. Although even Star Trek Discovery's genial showrunner Aaron Harberts was caught off guard by the intensity of the internet trolls and haters. It's our job to reflect the world we live in, a world where more than half the population are women. Quite frankly, I don't know what all the fuss is about, argues Harberts when the Independent meets with him and his cast.
I'll tell you what the fuss is about.
Right
way back in the old days, and Ronan can back me up on this. When Star Trek the original series was on air, even in reruns, it was a bit of a phenomenon. It had all those people of different skin colors and different national backgrounds. Sure. But you know what they didn't do? They didn't have to wave a flag about it. They didn't grab a putty knife and try to smear it over you like spackle, the way these people are doing it now.
Yeah.
All they did was they showed Lieutenant Uhura in a position of authority on the bridge of a starship. No one questioned it. No one looked at her sideways. My God, she even yelled back at Captain Kirk when Captain Kirk was out of line.
Mm-hmm.
And Kirk would apologize to her for it. Why? Yeah. Not because she was black, not because she was a woman, but because she was a professional deserving of that level of respect.
Yeah.
Her skin color and her gender did not even enter into the equation.
Look at the whole premise.
Well, I mean, actually, if you want to be technical about it, the only time it did weigh in was when they shared that kiss. The iconic interracial kiss on Star Trek.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. One of the first times that you were actually privy to see something like that on network television. But
go on.
Here's the thing, though, and everything. Look at the original premise of the show. The original premise was the show was what?
Wagon Train to the Stars.
Yeah. You're going around, you're meeting, you're basically an ambassador, a goodwill and emissary to different races and cultures and everything. Hi, we're us and everything. Welcome to the fold.
Our 5-year mission.
Being a good fucking neighbor.
Yeah, our 5-year mission to boldly go where no one has gone before, to explore new worlds and meet new people or something like that. If I remember.
Seek out new life, a new civilization. To boldly go where no man has gone before.
All right, my casting says that the sky is the limit for all of us. I think that we're seeing now in our media is this push to diminish and to devaluate and to make people feel that the sky is not the limit for them, that they are meant for the ground, says Martin Green, a force of energy so bubbly and exuberant, it's hard to imagine. She was chosen to play a human, raised as a Vulcan.
Yeah, she was... Okay. Go ahead, Mad Woman. I know you've got an issue there.
Not only chosen, but actively waited on. Production halted until her Walking Dead contract ran out. First of all, chosen. One, like Messiah. Like, here comes the second coming of whatever God you choose to fucking follow. It's a goddamn actress.
Yeah.
Give me a break. Then raised as a Vulcan. I'm sorry, you cannot raise a human as a Vulcan. It is impossible for us to suppress our emotions. You can raise them in a Vulcan culture, in a Vulcan environment, but they're also overlooking the fact that since they're billing her as Spock's sister or adopted sister, she's got a human adopted mother.
Yes, Panda. I get triggered with some things and everything. You know, immense idiocy I get triggered with. And the main thing about that is somebody actively threatened the U.S., its holding, and our military and everything. So yeah, I take offense with that. I've had family members in the military. I've had friends in the military, and just can't. There's just some things you can't do, and this is just another thing too. And everything, some of the shit just triggers me all the hell. This is one of my favorite shows. It's been one of my favorite shows ever since I was a child.
Yep.
Yeah. And to ignore so much about it. See, I said it somewhere before, probably on American Reality, but good science fiction does not give you answers. It asks questions. This doesn't seem to be asking a question. This seems to be saying, well, this is the right way to be because, these people have the different skin, but they should be treated like they don't have the different skin, but you have to recognize that they have the different skin. And because they have the different skin, you have to treat them all the same way based on the skin. Fuck off. It's just tiring. It's that kind of idiotic thought process that's thrown into this stuff. This is why Ghostbusters 2016 failed, for God's sake. I mean, then they're doing it here. They're blaming the people on the internet who brought up valid concerns in both cases, both Star Trek Discovery or STD, or as I like to call it, the new STD, and with Ghostbusters 2016. Both crowds, both fan bases, and there's going to be a lot of overlap, but both fan bases brought up valid criticisms, and it's just brushed aside like it's just internet haters. It's bullshit. Your movie didn't suck because of internet haters. It sucked because it looked like a poorly thought out cartoon.
Yeah. And
there are elements of Star Trek Discovery visually that look that way. And when they keep pushing this stuff at us, they're making our case for us.
Yeah, they are.
I have one hope. I have absolutely one hope for this show. And that hope is that they saw what happened with Ghostbusters 2016. And this is a big bait and switch.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're that clever.
I don't think they are either. So having me as the first black lead of a Star Trek just blast that into a million pieces. I am eternally grateful that the diverse casting of our show means that we are now part of the conversation and hopefully a part of making the world a better place, as cliche as this sounds, because I really believe it and think it's vital for all of us right now, she says. The specter of Trump lurking unspoken. Everything's Trump's fault, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And that opening statement right there. The first black lead.
She just proved that she hasn't seen any of the damn cameras.
She doesn't know any goddamn thing at all and everything. There's Benjamin Sisko.
And, you know, that's fine if she doesn't. Don't pretend like you do. I'm perfectly okay with you if you don't know about it, but when you start pretending like you do, you're just giving the whole production a even worse name than it's earned for itself.
Geordie LaForge was one of the lead characters and everything. Oh, hooray, again, another lead character in the
Worf.
Worf.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that got Zeus excited when we said Worf. But Worf.
Worf.
But shit, and not even just those as the main characters. There's been a slew of guest characters. Dr. Richard Daystrom.
Yeah.
Yep.
God, I wish Enterprise was better so I can remember the name of the scientist in Enterprise.
Well, I mean, if you look at the history of the show and you look at the different races they included people that would otherwise have been, you know, I mean, Ferengi.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I don't know if the guy was, they picked actors that were suffering from dwarfism or not, but there are different stages of dwarfism that stunt development, that stunt growth, that don't make you look like what we consider a midget.
Right.
But it worked, and they were on the show. You had
all over the show.
You had the person who played a member of the Maquis on Voyager. I can't remember her name. I'm blanking out.
B'Elanna Torres.
Thank you. You know, you had your Black Spock on that show as well. You had Neelix, you had Tuvok, you had Neelix. You have all these people of different races and ethnic backgrounds playing completely different races.
Yeah. I mean, what they're doing doesn't touch what Star Trek has done in the past. And it's not surprising because that's all that the people behind Star Trek seem to do now is look backwards. They don't look forward at all. If they were looking forward, we wouldn't have had the JJ films. We'd have had something post-Voyager in the timeline.
Correct. Whoopi fucking Goldberg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And granted, she was not a main character
in Next Generation.
But she was a hugely popular character.
Yes. She's one of the most popular characters in the canon.
And just like Nichelle Nichols as Uhura, she was a character you did not fuck with.
No.
No.
I mean, unless
even Q went to fuck with her.
Nope.
Yeah.
The most powerful being in the universe would not fuck with that bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Because Guinan would kick his ass somehow.
Yeah.
And he knew it.
Yeah. They completely, it's like, they never watched any of the shows. They've never read any of the books. They've never seen, I'm sure there's comic books out there that I haven't been privy to. But I mean, there's you know, there's a wide variety of canon material, of source material they could have drawn from. And then, you know, them just saying this says, we didn't see any of that. We're just doing this to do this.
Yeah,
And-
this is generic science fiction production number 264. Let's slap the Star Trek name on it.
Right. I mean, completely disregarding everything. And the one thing that made Star Trek work was not only all the diverse races, it's the fact that the races were never pushed as the agenda.
Exactly.
How to deal with other races on a new planet, how to make first contact was always the issue.
Yeah.
How to be diplomatic was the issue.
Yeah.
How to understand each other.
How not to interfere with their society and everything was a big thing. Take that. Remember the prime directive. Don't tamper with society.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Meanwhile, it seems that all these people want to do is tamper with society, the people behind the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Behind the new STD. Sorry, I had to say it again.
I know. We all want to rant. Not that she shows her casting as a triumph for women alone. I think it sends a message to any minority group that's been disenfranchised. We all benefit when we see a picture of ourselves in a position of leadership. And I think that goes not just for women and people in minority groups, but for everyone to see this is possible. I think that it will help people see the beauty of women in power and also the beauty of minorities in power, and to incite change.
Incite.
I've got one name.
Okay, I got to say this. Incite change, not inspire.
Right.
That tells you something about their motivations, doesn't it? That choice of words.
Well, see, it's like she goes, okay, minorities in power. Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah. Argue that one.
That's the thing, though. But he's right and everything. To incite, to force.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You're not going to force me to do a goddamn thing. Try.
I mean, you have black people that own companies, multi-million-dollar companies. We had a black president. That's country in a minority's hand.
So-called minority. I don't buy the minority stuff.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't buy it. I think of us as Americans first.
Yeah.
And if you put something else before American, well, that's a commentary on you, not a commentary on this nation.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got patriotic for a minute. Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sure some Democrat is crying in their Cheerios right now.
It should be noted that Martin Green is the first black female captain, but not the first female captain. That honor following to Kate Mulgrew, who made franchise history in 1995 when she was anointed. As Captain Janeway in Star Trek Voyager. You anoint a priest. You don't anoint a captain. You assign a captain.
Well, you know what? Getting the role of captain on a Star Trek show, there's similarity to being promoted to the rank of captain in the military. It's something that's earned. You earn it through your talent, your skill, your perseverance.
Yeah.
To get anointed, it's like someone puts some oil on your head and you get to go do a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
What kind of oil do I have to put on my head to go piss in the fucking public water system?
I anoint you with
the perfect captain for that
type
of mission.
I anoint you with a holy trilogy of classic TNG, Voyager, and DS9. Amen.
There we go.
There we are.
Yeah, was there some sort of monastic? Where did they have? Were there chanting monks at this anointing?
I don't know.
There might have been.
What, boo boo?
Yeah, Donnie, yeah.
No. 4 factor 9.
4 factor 9.
Oh, we're bad.
Who presses the button on the con has the power.
Make it so.
Yeah, right? Oh my God. Star Trek Discovery is a prequel to Gene Roddenberry's original series. Now it's the original series. Set approximately 10 years prior in a world at war. An interesting experiment from Netflix.
In a world at
Binge
war.
on the series. Yeah. I will not be able to binge on the series, each episode rolling out as a weekly episodic show. one of the most popular pop culture franchises in history, now returning to TV 12 years after the last Starfleet was kissed. That's not TV.
All hailing frequencies open.
This is it's just propaganda for propaganda's sake. The more we hear about this show, the less I want to watch it.
I want to watch it just so I can tear apart everything they do.
Oh, God.
I want to watch it just so I can know that Orville is the new Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah. No Sarah, no singing.
Star Trek, Gorn with the Wind.
Gorn in 60 seconds.
Star Trek as the Gorn turns.
Star Trek, Gorn but not forgotten.
And don't miss the next exciting episode on Netflix of As the Stomach Churns.
Like sands through the hourglass, these are the Gorns of our lives. Sorry, I had to. Sorry, I had to.
I still love it.
Maddie's Gorn pitching.
Yeah, I went pitching. Oh my God. But yeah, it's just they're propagandizing it instead of just making the show based on the canon and the source material that we all know and love, that all of us Trekkies know and love.
Yeah. You know, just write a good show. That's all you have to do. You make that decision.
Yeah.
I don't care. We don't care who the commanding officer is. What we care about is the storyline.
The character arc.
The character arcs and everything. And are you at least trying to stick within the canon that we all know and love? This is.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be another Kirk and Spock. It doesn't have to be another Janeway. It could be anything in the world.
It could be Roger and Shannon.
Just stick with the
canon.
The canon, the generalized idea that this is, and don't be injecting all this SJW bullshit. We don't care about the SJW.
Book says pretty sure they are contractually prevented from using the source material aside from the broad context.
That's good. That means they can create something new.
Yeah, but
take
also
it in a different direction.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing it in the changes in the uniforms and the changes in what people look like and things of that nature. There are certain licenses that they can't use that they had to work around or get or buy rights to directly from the show. This, to me, is reminiscent of another The Last Airbender saga problem, because when M. Night Shyamalan set out to make a live-action version of The Last Airbender, the people that had the rights to the books, the children's books, and the television show said, no, we don't want you using our material as we have it. You can't use our copyright for your movie. And he said, all right, but I'm going to do the movie anyway. And it wound up being a piece of shit.
Yeah, dear.
Well, not just that. Oh, go on.
I just have to tell her and everything she's gotten Ghost Dog started now.
Yeah.
The Gorn and the Beautiful.
Yes, I know.
Well, see, that's part of the problem there is that the entire Star Trek franchise is broken up between CBS and Paramount.
Yeah.
And so you have to get a license to do one kind of a thing from one company and to do another type of thing from another company. And there's some overlap and some wide separations that make it really hard to figure out what you can do.
Yeah.
And really, one needs to buy the other out so the license goes to one holder, and that holder can say yay or nay. And hopefully it'll be someone who gives a shit about the franchise.
Hopefully. Because right now it's not looking... It's looking like a series that it will be more fun to pick apart and mock than it would be to enjoy and watch as a Star Trek franchise.
I really hope it's not. I really hope it's good.
Me too.
Because I love the Star Trek. I mean, you guys know I'm in that damn game fucking all the time.
Yeah. Hell, I'm right there with you every chance I get. Yeah. So, I mean, that's probably what we're going to do not long after this.
Yeah.
Apparently, I'm going to have to go to the store and get coffee and stuff.
Right. We'll check the PayPal after the show. Apparently, we triggered Doubting Tommy with our tea for the show.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, we can hope for the best. I mean, the classic series, I remember growing up with it. I was born in '73. So most of it I saw was syndicated. in reruns. But I saw it with my parents, and I loved it. You know, the Next Generation had a couple of characters in it that I could have done without.
Yeah.
Deanna Troy.
We have Jason Todd in the chat.
You know, I mean, to me, Deanna would have been better served as a go-between for a diplomat with her empathic skills.
Well, you got to remember that character was put in at a time when you know, everyone was being sent off to some kind of counseling, either at school or sensitivity training at work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sensitivity training. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what she was there. They called her counselor, but they should have called her sensitivity trainer.
Yeah. Of course, set phasers to patriarchal smash.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like when they sat down and started writing this thing, they set their phasers to cringe.
Yeah.
Exactly. Phasers to cringe. Oh my God. So we're coming up on an hour. Our friend Mitch has a podcast that runs for about 4 hours with his friend Ghost and my husband Ronan every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern on the Mitch the Ripper channel. It's called American Reality. They deal in the reality most people try not to see on a day-to-day basis, and they do it with humor, common sense, and an insightful commentary, all wrapped up into one.
Don't forget profanity.
Yeah, and lots of fucking profanity. So if you guys like three guys shooting the shit, taking the piss, and talking about current events, check out American Reality, Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Mitch the Ripper channel. Also, we've got 2 live streams today. One I found on accident. Appabend's channel at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time has a live stream called Manufactured Kryptonite. He's talking Pepe and Keck. That's at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Lizz.Zeph Streams has her cancer stream on the Lizz.Zeph channel at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's where they play Quiplash and take the piss out of everything SJWs are trying to get us to stop talking about. The jokes are lewd, crude, and socially unacceptable, but that's the way we like that game. So if you guys like to cut loose with your language, put your mind in the gutter, and be as crude as possible, join Liz on Lizz.Zeph Streams channel at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Quiplash. She usually plays about 4 games. So, on that note, I know this isn't coffee, but may your coffee ever flow, may your caffeine be ever strong, and may you have a wonderfully Wednesday. See you guys in Discord.